What is going on, guys? Corrosive Bullet here, and today is going to be a bit of a controversial topic. At least controversial from my standard fare of videos. Is the new Vegito coming out in set 5 too strong? Is this Vegito Leader not only going to be the best blue deck in the format, but is a new potential ban list or limit list coming because of the amount of absurdity this deck is going to have? We're just going to discuss things. I'm bringing up this video just because mainly for one fact, like a lot of the reveals have been, for this deck have actually been pretty insane for what this deck is actually trying to do. And two, Bandai is so proud of this deck that there's been barely any reveals for green, yellow, and black. Like, I can't make proper archetype videos because the majority of the cards that they've revealed has mostly been for blue. It's actually really funny. Like, I want to be excited for Gogeta. I want to play Gogeta, but like they just haven't released many cards for Gogeta. We know what the Pycon does. We know that there's a Trunks with a Goten thing, and there's 2 extra cards, and that's really all they've officially announced. So it's ridiculous. But anyway, let's kind of get into the video, kind of talk about what Vegito's doing here, and give my 2 thoughts on this particular deck. And then we're also going to go through the entire blue card list and see what past cards are actually going to really help benefit this deck as well. All right, so let's get into it. So we have Vegito over here. Vegito is the new leader coming out in set 5. On his front side, he draws 1, and then when he awakens, if you're at 4 life or less, you place the top 10 cards of your deck into your owner's drop, and then you flip the card over. Then on his awakened side, on your turn, if you have 20 or more cards in your drop, this card gets 20,000 power for the turn. This is going to be ridiculous later when we start going into and talking about like a lot of the stuff that's going to be run in this deck. But this by itself alone is really strong. He'll technically be stronger than Vegeta in the later game, with probably a better restriction for that effect too. The Vegeta needs 7 or less cards in hand in order to proc his effect, whereas you just need to passively have 20 cards or more. So depending on how defensive you are in the beginning turns, you could probably easily get to 10 cards before you hit turn 4. No problem. Yeah, I would say this is a pretty strong effect and a pretty strong leader, all things considered. Then we got the first SR one of the first SRs that was revealed. Vegeta, 2 cost, 10k power, 10k combo. On play, you add up to 1 blue card with a cost of 3 from your drop to your hand. And then activate battle, switch this card in a battle area to rest mode. If you have 20 or more cards in your drop, your Son Goku with the cost of 3 that is in a battle gets 30,000 power for the battle. So what's weird about the blue reveals as a whole is that like we've known about this card for a while, but we have yet to see what the actual like Goku card that they're referring to is. We know that there's a Spirit Bomb Goku that's going to be releasing with this set, and it's obvious that you want to play that one alongside or in tandem with this guy. But we just don't know where he is. He hasn't been officially revealed yet. So, I don't know. This is weird. The on-play effect is really neat. It's kind of future-proofing multicolored strats going into like future sets. Because it specifically says a blue card and not just like a card with a cost of 3, right? So, I think that's some pretty cool tech. And then as an activate battle ability, depending on what this Goku's doing, adding 30,000 power is pretty crazy. We already have some 3-cost Gokus. There's a vanilla 3-cost Goku from set 1, set 2, one of the earlier sets that you can use this on. There's the Kachin, I believe it's the Kachin Goku, where I think when on play and when attacking, you can I think it minuses cost by 1, or it bottom decks a 1 cost or something like that. I can't remember what it is. When we go over the blue cards that you would run in this deck, we'll talk about that. But yeah, this is also a really strong card too. It's a pretty good one. Then we got a Go Tanks, 2 cost, 15k power, 10k combo. Permanent skill, if you have 10 or more cards in your drop, this card in the battle area gets 10,000 power, and he's a Self-Awakener. Not bad. 2 cost Self-Awakener is pretty standard for the most part. But being able to be a 25k at 2 cost when you have 10 or more cards, which is very easy to do in the milling strategy, is actually not bad at all. I'm curious how this card's going to work in like the Vegeta deck with all the Go Tank support. But outside of that, like, there's nothing wrong with this card. It's pretty standard. Then we got a Hercule Cantrip. That when it's played, you place the top 2 cards of your deck into the drop, and then if you have 10 or more cards, you drop 1. This is something you probably don't want to use until later in the match. Like, this is probably a cantrip you want to play, like, right as you're about, like, when you're at 8 cards in your drop. You don't want to play this sooner rather than later, because otherwise it's just a dead card that you're kind of playing. There's probably other milling cards that are better than this guy, but that being said, like, it's not a bad option. All right, then this one was just revealed today, and this is where I get a little worried about this deck. So we have a new Vegito card, 4 cost, 30k power, 0 combo. On play, choose up to 1 battle card with a cost of 4 or less in your opponent's battle area and return it to the hand. And then when attacking, if you have 20 or more cards in your drop, your opponent can't attack using battle cards with costs of 3 or less during your opponent's next turn. This card is nuts. This is an insane card. So first off, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, right? The fact that if you have 20 or more cards and your opponent can't attack with battle cards with a cost of 3 or less for the next turn. This completely shuts out Baby. Because there's only like 2 cards that you're playing in Baby, maybe 3 that you're playing in Baby, that are above this threshold. Everything else in Baby is like a 3 cost. So Baby gets shut down completely. The fact that none of your combo cards are going to be able to swing, like, Baby's not going to be able to play aggressive against this deck at all. Then you look at like Evil Boo in set 4 as well. All of the best cards in Evil Boo are 3 cost. The buff Boo that can attack 2 times for 30,000 power. Your Buhan SR that's able to draw you and do the hand destruction stuff. You got the Fat Boo that can KO something and boost up to 35,000 power. You can't swing with the 2 cost 30k power Majin Buu that KOs himself. Like, it just shuts it down. So oddly enough, though, the majority of the green deck, from what we've seen so far, we haven't seen everything in a lot of these colors. But the new Goku deck, the secret rare is safe, because we found out that the secret rare for the green Goku deck is a 3 cost in hand, but he's still a 7 cost on board. So like, that card in particular is safe. The 4 cost secret rare Frieza is safe, obviously. But yeah, we've seen like a lot of the Janemba support, and there's only 1 card with the Janemba support that can't be affected, and that's the SR Broly, and that's 1 card in a whole archetype that we know of. So that's pretty sad. And then you look at like a lot of the Daima stuff. A lot of the Daima stuff is like, that's been revealed so far outside of Glorio. Everything else is a 3 cost or less too. So like, this shuts down like a lot of the game. And then you take into account the fact that it's bouncing something on your turn 4, and then it's a 30k swing. Going in the turn 5, you have another option of the 5 cost Vegito that's bouncing a 5 cost and swinging twice for 30k. So that's 3 30k swings plus a potential 40k from your leader. Then on your turn 6, you have a 6 cost Vegito that's able to bounce whatever you want, and then it's 2 40ks. Like, what in the world are they doing? What are they thinking? You got a 40k swing, a turn 4 30k swing, two turn 5 30k swings, 2 40k swings on turn 6. Like, what deck is going to be able to handle this amount of aggression? There's not. There's no deck that's able to handle this type of aggression. And the biggest problem is that, like, because of how strong these 30k swingers are. Like, red is even going to be in hot contention because red needs to commit a lot of resources to get rid of 30ks. Like, you got Rumshi's, and Rumshi's great, but Rumshi slows down the game for red. Like, you playing a Rumshi slows you down immensely. Like, that's all you're doing that turn is playing Rumshi. If you're doing minusing stuff, 2 Fuas is 4 energy. We'll get rid of this guy, but once again, slows down the game. You can't really do much by you know, doing that. So it really, like, I just don't understand like where this is where like their mind and thought process was when it came to like building this deck. Like, this is insane. And then you take into account like a lot of the extra support that's coming with this too. So now there's there's this new Vegeta that dropped 2 cost, 20k power, 5k combo. When attacking, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Then place the top 3 cards of your deck into the owner's drop. So it's a self-awakener when attacking, which is probably something that Vegito wants to do. He wants to awaken as soon as possible, but you're also placing the top 3 cards of your deck too. So literally within 2 turns, 3 turns, like by the time you get the turn 4 with this card alone, you're probably going to be at 20 cards, which is just insane. Like, you basically defend everything you possibly can, utilize your self-awakener with a card like this to facilitate your awakening, and then by the time you do awaken, you should already be at like 18 to 20 cards, which is just insane. Then you take into account the extra cards that also got announced too. You have this CU card, which is a 3 cost. If you have 20 or more cards in your drop, choose up to 1 Son Goku with a cost of 3 in your battle area, and it gains double strike for the turn. Then you could just choose a battle card and place it at the bottom of the deck. What? This Goku, like, this Goku that has yet to be revealed is going to be so insane. I don't know, like, what this Goku's going to do, but the fact that you can make it a double striker and then just bottom deck whatever is just crazy. For 3 energy? Just nuts. And then you have this Unrivaled Fusion Father, which is just a funny name, by the way. It's for 1 energy. You choose up to 1 Vegito on your main with a cost of 4 or more in your battle area, and it gets 10,000 power for the turn. Then, if you have 20 or more cards in your drop, it gets another 10,000 power. So it's an aggressive extra card to boost up your Vegitos. We now know that we have a new 4-cost Vegito, we have the 5-cost Vegito, we have the 6-cost Vegito, we have the 4-cost Vegito that brings out the 5 or 6 cost from your drop. Like, you're doing this for 1 energy. So as long as you're like always up on 1 energy, like if you're on turn 6 and you play the 5 cost, like as long as you have 1 energy up, like you're gonna be doing so much damage. Like that, like with the 5 cost Vegito, you're doing 2 40k swings. With the 6 cost Vegito, you're doing potentially 60 if you completely removed your entire deck. Like even with the 4 cost, like it's a 40k swing on turn 4, or maybe with the marker. Like it's just gross. All of this is gross. I just don't understand. All right, well that's all the the heavy blue stuff that's kind of gotten revealed. Let's go over to the whoops, wrong screen there, guys. Sorry about that. Let's go over to the official card list and see like what here from the past sets is actually going to work really well with this deck. So I'm not really seeing anything from like set 1 so far. This is all set 1 stuff. Obviously self-awakeners are going to be good. Pilaf I think is still going to be relevant going into going into next set. I don't see this going anywhere. Mai will probably have a little bit of use depending on how fast you want to awaken with Vegito. We have to see what the rest of the cards kind of do, but you're probably playing defensive with Mai regardless. So maybe Mai's not necessarily an option, but she could be run with this deck probably. Then we kind of go into this Goku won't get used with the 3-cost support, obviously. This is all starter deck blue. I mean, this Piccolo could probably see some use since getting extras from your drop is going to be beneficial. And milling is always going to be, again, in like having mills you're milling your deck with the blue cards. So like having this to grab extra cards from your drop is probably beneficial. I can see him being some use there. Okay, those are alt arts. So now we're going into set 2. Nothing really standing out here of everything that's going on. This card. This card's going to be a must run, I think, in Vegito. It's a 1-cost Shin, 5k power, where on play, it's a searcher where you look at the top 5 of your top 5 cards of your deck, you reveal 1 Patara card, and you add it to your hand. The rest go to the bottom. Like, the fact that you're running as many Vegitos as you are in this particular deck, you're probably going to want some searching power to find your 4-cost, 5-cost, 6-cost Vegitos. So this Shin is probably going to be a must run going into this set. So he's from set 2. So Blazing Aura, make sure that you pick some of these up if you don't have some already. Probably going to be worthwhile to run in the Vegito deck. Continuing down, once again, you're probably going to be running Vegito support, and obviously with being able to bounce stuff back to hand with the 4-cost and the 5-cost and even the 6-cost, maybe having these Vegitos on board is probably going to be beneficial too. Like obviously we need some sort of curve that we need to like build ourselves up to going from turn to turn. And I doubt that you're going to play the 2-cost, 3-cost Goku Vegeta combo early on in the game. I don't see that being the case. Those cards are probably going to be more so for the late game, or even perhaps the mid game. So maybe running some of these Vegitos is probably going to be worthwhile to run in the set. Let's see. I'm still looking for that 3-cost. Again, obviously the 5-cost Vegito is something that you're definitely going to want to run, and you're probably going to want to run a playset of these Vegitos. You need to be able to have the constant aggression that's just going into your opponent, which is all this deck is being built around, is just the aggression. Now we're kind of going into the set 3 stuff, and this is where I think the 3-cost Gokus are from, right? It's from set 3. We gotta find it. Unless things are out of sort. Did we miss some? I don't think we missed any. Did we miss some stuff? Yeah, no, here we go. Okay, so here's one of the 3-cost Gokus that we know of. This is a 3-cost 20k power, 5k combo. Where on play when attacking, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 1 or less and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. The effect itself is not anything like crazy. There's a lot more cost minusing stuff in blue than there was in the past, but there's really like the effect is probably not what you're using this for. Like, you're going to be using this with that 3-cost extra to give him double strike, and then you're using it with the 2-cost Vegeta, obviously, to boost him up by 30,000 as well. So this is a 50k swinger that can potentially be a double striker, depending on if you can get the right setup. So that's one of the 3-cost Gokus. Obviously, this guy is going to be like when turn 6 happens, maybe going into turn 7. Or even 5, like even on turn 5, like going into turn 6, having potentially 2 of these on board. I don't know what any of these decks in the format are going to be able to do against this guy. Like, this is if you have 2 of these on board with your Vegito Leader, that's 5 40k swings. There is not much that you are going to be able to do to defend against that. You are taking some hits, regardless of whether you're able to defend 1 or 2 swings. Like, you're taking some hits. I just don't know. Like the reality is we don't know. This is the other 3-cost Goku I was talking about. 25k power, 3-cost, just vanilla. The 2-cost Vegeta will boost this up to 55, and then the 3-cost extra will the 3-cost extra will make him a double strike. It's just scary. It's really scary. So let me know what you guys think about Vegito down below in the comments below. Honestly, guys, like, I'm feeling this is another top 2 situation. Like, the amount of support that this deck has is just insurmountable. Like I can't even fathom what they were thinking about when they quality tested this deck. If they quality tested this deck, I don't even know. But it feels like another top Q situation. Like I feel like no deck is really going to be able to top this going into set 5. And it's a little hard to say too, because once again, all of the reveals for this set so far, the majority have been blue. So we know next to nothing about Janemba. We finally we have like 5 cards of support that don't even, and like only 2 of them kind of work with the archetype. Well, I mean, I guess Zanya does a little bit too, but like it's not anything you're doing. Like the cards that we have, like only 1 card's really doing something against Vegito, I think. Gogeta, once again, we know next to nothing. We have extra cards and we have Pycon and Trunks. That's it. Like there's no like grand like support that we've seen that shows that it can stand up to this deck. You got the 7-cost Goku for Frieza, or for the Goku leader. And obviously we know you can run the 7-cost like secret rare Gohan from set 1 in that deck too. But is it going to be enough? I don't think it's going to be enough, especially if those 6-cost Vegetos are on board. I just don't know. And even red, like Glorio's a great card, but like if that 4-cost with that 4-cost Vegito, I don't know if like red's even going to be able to do much of anything if they can't attack. Like it's not even the fact that, let's kind of go back to it real quick. Like it's not even the fact that it's not even the fact that like, oh, like it's not resting those cards. It's not doing anything. Like you literally can't attack with 3 costs or less. It's a huge floodgate. So like even red is going to be at a disadvantage because like the only thing you can really do is swing with lead. And hope to God that you have a 4-cost or higher going into turn 4, because otherwise you're not doing anything that turn. So I don't know. It's like I'm speechless. I'm speechless.